Hi everyone, Julia Watts here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Continuing with our stencil techniques little videos. So today we're going to be looking at stamping through a stencil. Now I didn't think this would work, so I've had a practice because the Sentimental Yours stencils are very quite thick. They're not as thick as some of the Pentart ones that I've used in the past, but they are high quality mylar and it's quite hard to stamp through them. So, but you can do it. So I've chosen the Extravagance, which is the one that has the biggest open areas. And you'll find everything I'm using over on my website, juliawattscrafts.co.uk, for shipping to UK addresses, and you'll also find them over on Mr. M's website, honeypotcrafts.co.uk. So let's crack on. So I've done one already, so I'm going to do this one in a slightly different base colour. Just a piece of white cardstock, and we're going to pop our stencil on here. This is an A5 piece, so the stencil design just about fits, and I am going to secure it top and bottom so it doesn't move. That's a bit excessive. Let's save that for my die cuts. So we pop a little bit at the top. Okay. And a little bit at the bottom. Well, a lot at the top and a little bit at the bottom. So that's nice and secure now. That's not going anywhere. So using a blending brush, and I'm using mustard seed distress ink just because I think that it's easier to use the brushes with stencils, and all my brushes have got distress ink on them. So as I said, mustard seed, and you'll find all the distress inks on my website. Now also a little technique that's quite handy, especially with a design like this, is to go in with the kind of, we'll call them floral elements, they're not, but the main focal elements first. And apologies if the camera's moving. I'm very impatient when I'm using my brushes. I like the colour on instantly. There's no such thing as a delicate touch with me. So what this will do is this will give me a greater intensity in those focal parts than in the remainder. I do find inking up quite therapeutic actually. Don't forget there are loads and loads of videos now in the stencil techniques. Some of them are in the background section, some of them are in the flawless media section, some of them are in both. I didn't pull them out as a special stencil techniques playlist. Maybe I should have done. I might do that at some point. Okie doke, so there we've got the main parts all inked in. Let's pull that down slightly. Okay, and then we'll just fill in the gaps. So these will be a bit lighter, but still have the mustard seed on. You could do this with Distress Oxide, absolutely, and you can use them with a sponge or a smoothie if you want to. It's just, as I said, all my blending brushes have got distress ink on. So you don't want to mix distress ink and Distress Oxide on the same thing, unless you've cleaned them, of course. Last little bit. I'm not going to reveal anything because I want to leave the stencil in place. I could do actually, I could show you. I'm sure you'll be shouting, show me, show me. So we'll do that. And we'll put the stencil back down again. Let's just lift this up. And its hinge. So you can see it's more concentrated, the colour, where the focal elements are. Really pretty stencil. Okay, let's pop this back down again. Got a little bit of black dust there. Okay. So for stamping through, I've pulled out, what have I just done with them? Let's put them somewhere. There. I've pulled out the Notebook Botanicals Notebook Textures stamp set because it's got lots of little tiny textures and they're a bit grungy, so they don't have to be perfect. which is brilliant. Like I say, you're better off with the smaller stamps. Don't try with the background stamp, because the background stamps, the new texture stamps, they just won't go down in between, and you might get an edge, but you won't get it down in between. If you want to use them in your hand, and then you can put the pressure just in that central bit. But like I say, we're going to be using these, which is a well-loved set. Excuse me. Okay, so let's start with some textures. Decisions. This is the hard one, deciding which one to start with. Let's start with this one. So we're starting with that one, which is just a little few dots. I want to try and use different ones to what I've used before, but I probably will gravitate towards some of my favourites. And I have got Distress Oxides, because Distress Oxides are easier to stamp with than Distress ink. And also, if you use your VersaFine Clairs, it's going to be hard to clean your stencil. So this and the Distress ink will just wash off your stencil, no problem. So for once, I did actually think about keeping something clean. Don't often do that. So let's just go into some areas. And I'm just going again into the focal points, because these are the areas where there's the biggest open area. You might catch some of the others, which is fine. Let's go to the left. There's that one. Okay, so we've got, oh, we have missed this one. This one's obviously upset me, seeing as I didn't do it. Okay, so we've got a little bit in some of the areas there. Let's put that one aside to right, put too long, so I don't get mucky fingers more than anything else. So I'll clean all these off afterwards. So that's Vintage Photo Distress Oxide. Then we're going to go into, let's go into Crackling Campfire. So I'm keeping kind of autumnal kind of colours. And let's pick another stamp from here. Let's go for this dotty one, this sort of grommet thing. Will that fit on my little block? No, it won't. So I'm using the acrylic circles here from Sentimentally Yours. Should be over a bit more really, but never mind. Which are really nice to hold. Let's go for there. Give it a good press. You can see some of the areas are still, some of the smaller areas are still picking up, but I'm only going to concentrate on the open areas, because I just don't want to stamp on everything. Don't overthink it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's right. Don't overthink it, because then you'll end up with something that I suppose is a little bit contrived, but you're more likely to make mistakes if you overthink it. If you just go for it, it'll be perfect, or as perfect as it needs to be. Okay, so that's that. Then we're going to go for Carved Pumpkin. And with Carved Pumpkin, let's go for one of the circles. Now the circles aren't going to fit in a complete, but they're going to go over the edges and then continue in the next section. So let's do some of these. Just making sure I'm going in each one. Let's go there on that one. Oh, I missed that one. See, I shouldn't have done so. That one's a little bit too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double do it. Let's double do them. We could have used the double do stamp, because there is actually a stamp that's got a couple of circles, so we could have done that one, or even the triple. Let's do this. It's nice to have them overlapping. See, don't even think about it. Done all those. So they're the same but different. Like I say, this looks a mess on the stencil, but once you reveal it, it does look rather good, because I've done it before, so I know. Right, so we'll have one more, because we're going to use saltwater taffy. So let's pick another one up that's different. let's go for the, I don't want to go for that one. We could go for this splodge one, small splodge as opposed to the big splodge. Or we could go big splodge. Let's go big splodge because I think I use the small splodge on the other one. Just about fits on the smallest of the acrylic circles. The better, you'll get a better stamp if you use a circle or an acrylic block that is just about the right size. So if I put it on here like that, it's lost and it's harder to stamp with it one like that. But if you use one that's about the right size, then it's going to be easier, and it's also easier for me to hold because I've got little fingers. And I'm a righty, which is why it's going here. So let's have that splodge there. And I don't think we're going to splodge there. If we could splodge there. Let's splodge there. This is quite a new ink pad, so it's very juicy. Let's splodge out of that one. Should we splodge there? Let's splodge in the middle there. I think we've got 7 splodges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 splodges. Okie dokie, so now we can reveal. And of course you could if you wanted to, and we might actually get a print. Let's see if we can get a print from the stencil as well. Might not be any good, but we'll see. Might be interesting to get a negative. So let's peel this away. And there you have it. I think that's really cool. Really cool. And the one that I did the same. I did slightly different stamps, and this is Spice Marmalade. So you can see them side by side. Let's just move this one out of the way. So that was my practice. And they're both lovely, aren't they? Absolutely fabulous as backgrounds. And again, it's another technique that you can do with them, but this is obviously not that messy a technique. So let's just see if we can get a print of this before we finish this particular video. Let's grab another piece of white cardstock. And we just mist this away from the camera. I don't know what we get. I'm misting it within an inch of its life, which is probably a mistake. Pop its face down. And then use a piece of kitchen roll to press it. And we'll see what we get. If it's no good, it doesn't matter. We can build on it. We could put it on the jelly plate, but there's loads of things that we could do with it, or we could just turn it over and use it for something else. So, you know, but that ink's there. Rather than just washing it off, let's just see what we get. It's always worth a go, because you never know. Sometimes you like it better than the original. Do I like it? Probably could have done with more water down here. Not sure I do. Not sure I do. So this will probably be something I turn over and use on the other side. But it's, like I say, it's always worth a go. Always worth a go, just to see how it is. So let's just bring the backgrounds in that we were really aiming at. These are the ones that we really wanted. So I hope you enjoyed that. As I said, you'll find everything over on my website, juliawattscrafts.co.uk, for shipping to UK addresses. And there is a full list of what I've used in the description for the video. So if you want to know what distress inks and distress oxides I use, then I'll give you the full list. And you also find the products over at honeypotcrafts.co.uk, although Phil doesn't stock distress inks as far as I know. Do like and subscribe on my YouTube channel. As I said, this is a whole load of techniques with stencils that I've been recording for you, and I know that you've been enjoying them. And if you leave me a comment, then I promise I will read it and reply. And watch out for some more techniques. Thank you for watching.